Hi, I hope everyone's having a lovely day today. Let's get into the energies of love and romance and see what's going on right now. What's the vibe? What's in store for you at this time? Okay, so to start with, we have the Four of Pentacles, Two of Cups, and the Sun. So this is somebody, it feels like, who has been sitting on an offer. They have been wanting to reach out, wanting to provide you with some clarity as far as their feelings or their intentions, but there's a sense of that they're very intimidated by you energetically, maybe time that they've spent with you up to this point in time. There's a sense of you're different than the type of person that they are usually able to have successful connections with. So you may remind them of someone that had rejected them in the past, or there's a sense of if they get to know me better, if they see beyond the mask or the superficial illusion that has been presented, who I am as a person, is this going to align with what this person is looking for in a long-term sense? So it feels it takes a lot of effort on their part to kind of still their nerves when they're in your presence. Even just being in the same room, in the same proximity as you, having eye contact with you is very intense, but there's a sense of I don't want to back down. I don't want to let my fear get the best of me, because I know if I don't explore this further, I'm going to regret that. I'm always going to wonder what could have been, what might have been. So it's almost somebody that's trying to steady themselves, remain very grounded and very still, and kind of take baby steps towards you. But there's a sense of almost you're a high value person. You know your worth. You're not going to entertain less than you deserve or settle for less than you deserve. And so there's a sense of they need to continue to move forward with you, continue to make the effort to show up in interesting and unique ways. Even on the days when they're not feeling so good and kind of are very intimidated by the connection, it's almost I need to let this person know that this is a part of me as well. I need to make this person feel very seen and very appreciated, make myself stand out from the crowd, from other potential suitors, or in some sort of way, it's almost they've been holding back up to this point in time. And there's a sense of I need to present more. I need to show more of who I truly am. I need to kind of make the effort here in order for this person to see that I'm different from the rest. I'm worth their time and consideration. So let's see what else wants to come through. Okay, so we have the King of Pentacles, the Five of Cups, and the Two of Swords. Yeah, this person gets very tongue-tied in your presence. They may be intimidated by your beauty or your handsomeness, your intelligence, the way you carry yourself, your confidence. Everything just radiates an aura of self-worth, something where they're seeing that you take very good care of yourself. You're very strict with your boundaries as far as no nonsense kind of energy. They may see that you keep a very small circle, you keep a very tight circle. You're very conscientious about kind of not allowing chaos or drama to interfere with you, to steer you off your path in some sort of way. And so there's a sense of almost they're recognizing that a standstill energy or a defeatist attitude, that it may be sort of interfering with the vibe between the two of you, or there's a fear that that will happen. They're seeing and sensing that they need to present more, they need to provide more, they need to keep showing up, they need to keep being brave in little ways and in big ways, so that you're not going to feel I'm just wasting my time, or you're uncertain about this person's intentions. Maybe they need to make those intentions known, make it very clear, have an open and honest conversation with you. I feel so much, but I am very overwhelmed. You frighten me and allure me at the same time. There's a sense that you're somebody who values rigorous honesty, because you bring that to the table with other people, with them up to this point in time. And so there's a sense of knowing that they need to match your vibration, or they're going to be factored out of your equation, that you have no problem cutting people off, cutting your losses and kind of doing what's best for you. They may have seen you in action in that sense, or they can just sense that about you in terms of how you live your life as compared to other people that they know, or things that they might have heard about you, from others, or just in kind of observing you from afar. It's almost you don't tolerate less than you deserve. And so it's really motivating this person to kind of get out of their own way, overcome this kind of defeatist attitude, and keep showing up. The lines of communication are open, or they have the ability to open them or open them deeper between the two of you. And it's like, you've allowed them access to you up to this point in time, or you're entertaining them as a possibility. You're still having dialogue. You're still having these face-to-face interactions. You're still engaging with them. And so there's hope in this situation. But there's a sense of almost like, I can't let this stagnate. I can't let myself kind of double back in fear or hide away in my shell for very long. I need to keep showing up. So they're seeing you in this situation as like a challenge for them to grow, a challenge for them to step outside of their comfort zone. But it's a challenge that they're loving it. They're wanting to rise to the occasion. It's almost like every time they face a wall of fear and they get very intimidated, and they may pull back their energy or kind of just freeze and just sort of stand in place, they feel so victorious, so powerful, so competent within themselves. Every time they, will face you directly or speak to you after a period of time of like, I'm tongue-tied, I don't know what to say, and I just need to get something out. And when that happens, it's like they're so proud of themselves. They're beaming and they're glowing, and so they're seeing kind of movement that they're having to make towards you and towards this connection. You're actively helping to kind of encourage a best version of themselves to sort of come online, come out into the open without making any kind of, ultimatums or setting any hard and fast rules. This is just what's naturally happening. This is what they are inspired and motivated to do, to kind of rise to the occasion in order to not miss this opportunity with you. And we also have the Hermit, the Knight of Pentacles, and the Six of Pentacles. Yeah, so this is all about the energy of something that they've been keeping hidden, something they've been like working on, thinking about behind the scenes, kind of preparing themselves for that next push forward in this situation, hoping that a conversation goes well, or that you'll be pleased with kind of this valiant version of them, this brave version of them. Even if you don't have all the details of like, you don't know how much courage it's taking to show up for you like this, to allow myself to be seen in this way, or to spend time in your energy, because you're so intimidating, you're so confident, you're so sure of yourself, and they know that you won't settle for people that are harboring a lot of unprocessed shadows within themselves. Like, you require sort of the same level of authenticity and honesty with self out of your interpersonal relationships, or the people that you keep close to you or you're spending regular time with. You lead by example in that capacity. And so it's almost like they've been working on this better version of themselves behind the scenes, something that has been hidden from you. Maybe it's a confession, maybe it's, showing up more consistently with you, having that conversation to take the situation to the next level, or just being very open about their feelings, even reflecting on kind of how they've changed and evolved as a person in the time that you've been dealing with one another. It's like, you make me a better man, you make me a better woman, just by virtue of being yourself. And it's almost somebody who feels like, by working on themselves or working to overcome some degree of like shyness or insecurity or uncertainty that kind of bubbles up in your presence, may have always been kind of an undertone that they're noticing, and sort of like who they are, how they've been showing up in the world. This is definitely somebody who's becoming more self-aware. They're introspecting a lot, and it's almost like they want to share that with you. Like, I'm liking myself more. I'm feeling more comfortable in my own skin. I'm capitalizing upon my strengths. I'm learning to have compassion for my weaknesses. And all of this can be credited to what they are motivated to do in order to remain a relevant part of your existence, in order to, insert themselves further into your life, in order to kind of create forward momentum or match the efforts that you're making in your life in other ways. It's almost like you're worth it. You're worth this heavy lifting. You're worth the hard work of even just looking in the mirror, owning and accepting kind of how they've been showing up in this situation or their life in general, and kind of doing things that don't exactly feel comfortable. It doesn't come easy. It's not natural for them, but they're working on this. They're working on this kind of strength and personal empowerment. And it feels like every time you look at them, every time you smile at them, every time there's like an exchange between the two of you, they feel unstoppable. They feel so desired, so powerful in themselves, just like anybody who rejected them in the past, or couldn't see their value and worth, or only benefited from like a broken version of themselves, they're really starting to like close the door to the past and the ghosts of the past that have been sort of keeping them pressed into this kind of lesser version of themselves. Like, it was those people's loss all along. It was never something wrong with me. It was like these other people I was dealing with that couldn't appreciate me, that couldn't value me, that didn't challenge me to grow as a person, but compelled me to sort of shrink into someone that I didn't really like. And yet with you, it's the sense of you inspire them to rise to the occasion, to become the fullness of who they are. All the things that were overlooked by people in the past, they're throwing that all away, and they're bringing forth kind of this energy of like, this is who I am. This is the whole of me. This is the order within me. This is the chaos within me. Even kind of just feeling all those feelings within themselves and holding their ground with you, standing beside you, or continuing to try and show up in this connection as best as they can, or in your interactions as best as they can. It's bringing out a better version of themselves. So this is definitely somebody that's getting ready to, it feels like, show up in a different sort of way in this connection, because they've actually grown and evolved as a person, like behind the scenes, in kind of the quiet moments in between your interactions. They're thinking about you a lot. They're reflecting on your experiences with one another, and it's a sense of like, I don't want to lose this person. I don't want to lose out on this opportunity to see kind of what can happen next in this very unique and beautiful situation that you have with one another. So let's get some message cards from their higher self and see what they want you to know right now. Okay, and they say, I'm in love with you. You are my other half. So this may be somebody who's getting ready to make that confession, let you know these feelings that they have inside, or something that can help to kind of take this situation to the next level. They feel very balanced in your presence. Again, you inspire like a better version of themselves to either come out of the shadows, or something that they're actively creating. The more that they are interacting with you, the more that they even have time to reflect, or they've sort of fallen back into that fearful energy. It's like they're rising more empowered, more certain, more clarified as like who they are, who they want to be. And it's not just like a pipe dream, like, oh, I'll work on that another time, or wouldn't it be nice if I could kind of, have more confidence, or if I didn't self-sabotage. This is somebody that is very motivated to work on these shortcomings in order to not miss out on an opportunity with you. And it's not because you're putting pressure on them. It's just you being yourself very authentically inspires something within them to no longer make excuses, to get out of their own way, to show up in the best and boldest way possible in this connection with you and in their life in general. They also say we need some time together, so they may be planning a romantic date, more conversations with one another if it's been kind of quiet or distant lately, a sense of like, I want to open up, I want to show you more of who I am, I want to get to know more of who you are, I like what we have with one another, I'm excited with where things are headed, and I want to be more of an active participant in this connection. Also say, I will fight for your heart. Yeah, so they're fighting their fears. They're fighting, kind of a lack mentality, or like a fear of rejection, a fear of not being good enough. And it's like, you're worth kind of facing those fears, sitting in that frozen energy and, thinking of all the worst case scenarios, and then pushing through into, but what if things actually work out? What if this is my person? What if this is the reason that nothing has worked out romantically for me before, is because it was all preparation for this moment in time when I could, rise into that most empowered version of self alongside this person that is also modeling that in their life as well. They also say, you are so radiant, you shine like the brightest star. So the idea of a future with you, your love, your energy, your presence in their life, it is their North Star, it is their guiding light. They're pushing through kind of the darkness and the illusions and the fear that they are holding inside in order to provide you with some kind of clarity, some kind of reciprocity, something that lets you know, like, you outshine all other loves. I don't want anyone else in my life except for you. I'm willing to do whatever it takes rocks in order to rise to the occasion, to grow alongside you, to stand by you through thick and thin. And so they're getting ready, it feels like, to honor you and honor this connection in a very unique way that may even just be kind of some open declaration or more consistency, where it's almost like a change in their pattern. If it's been some hot and cold, back and forth behavior, this is something like pushing through to the other side of that, showing up in a different way, so that rather than just words or affirmations, this is almost somebody that's wanting to present actions as like a form of change, or something that kind of matches up with the declaration of like, I'm invested in this, I'm into you, I'm into us, I want to see where this goes moving forward. So those are your messages. I hope that they resonated with you and that you enjoyed the reading. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, or share. If you'd like a personal reading, I offer those through my Etsy shop, and there's a link to that in the description box of the video. I offer a variety of pre-recorded video readings, written readings, and channeled letters. Turnaround time on everything is 5 to 7 days from the time of purchase. I hope to see you again in another reading. Please take care and be well.